Hello and welcome to the channel. Governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, and a strong advocate against the naira redesign policy, who was among one of the three governors responsible for the suit against the federal government on the CBN lodged at the Supreme Court, has held court hours after President Buhari's nationwide address. He spoke to Nigerians about fighting for democracy as it has been truncated by a cabal hoping to derail the election with this policy and subsequently install an interim government after the election fails. Without naming names, but I guess we all know who he is talking about. He said the idea of this policy was first conceived after a certain individual lost out on the APC primary, and that presidential candidate of the APC was the main target of the plot by these faceless and nameless people. He noted that with this policy and its subsequent hardship brought upon millions of Nigerians, this will result in the people not voting for the APC presidential candidates and all other offices APC candidates nationwide are going for, which will in turn ensure that they install the so-called interim government after scuttling the election on the 25th. Wild conspiracy theory, hey? How true it is, we certainly don't know. What I do know is that El-Rufai is a Tinubu boy, so it is not surprising he would come out in trying to protect his boss if he feels he's been undermined in some way. Let's get the details of the Kaduna governor's own broadcast. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. Naira redesign plots for interim government, El-Rufai. The governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, on Thursday night alleged that the scarcity of naira notes was a part of the plot to disrupt the forthcoming elections in order to ensure the emergence of an interim government. In a state broadcast on Thursday, El-Rufai said the current cash scarcity was not unconnected with the efforts to ensure that the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, loses the election. It is important for the people of Kaduna State and indeed Nigeria to know that contrary to the public pronouncements and apparent good intentions, this policy was conceived and sold to the president by officials who completely lost out in the gubernatorial and presidential primaries of the APC in June 2022. Once Asiwaju Bola Tinubu emerged as the candidate in June 2022 and subsequently did not pick one of them as his running mates, this currency redesign policy was conceived to ensure that the APC presidential candidate is deprived of what they alleged is a humongous war chest. They also sought to achieve any one or more of the following objectives: create a nationwide shortage of cash so that citizens are incited to vote against APC candidates across the board, resulting in massive losses for the party in all the elections. Ensure that the cash crunch is so serious, along with the contrived and enduring fuel shortage existing since September 2022, that the 2023 elections do not hold at all, leading to an interim national government to be led by a retired army general, he claimed. The governor also said the order by the president, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired on the deadline for hold notes, is a disobedience to the Supreme Court order. The governor asked residents of the state to continue using the old naira notes. His directive is coming after Buhari said in his national broadcast earlier in the day that both the 1,000 naira and 500 naira hold notes are no longer legal tender. However, in his broadcast to the people of Kaduna State, El-Rufai urged them to stand up strongly for democracy, peace, and national unity. It is also quite revealing that the federal government and its agencies not only disobeyed the February 8th by continuing to say the February 10 deadline stands. It is shocking to see the blatant violation of the subsisting and continuing order of the Supreme Court that all the old and new notes should continue to be legal tender until it gives judgment in the case filed by the Kaduna State government along with several others. El-Rufai said the address by the president earlier this morning, limiting the legal tender status of old notes to only 200 naira, amounts to total disregard and disobedience of the ruling of February 8, which was extended further yesterday by the Supreme Court. The misguided action of the Attorney General to mislead the President into engaging in this public violation of the order of the highest court of the land shows how desperate the policy architects are to cause national chaos by showing open contempt for the judiciary. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. El-Rufai also spoke on why they rejected Buhari's out-of-court settlement when he disclosed that officials of the federal government reached out to him and some governors on the new naira policy. However, he rejected the offer put forth by the Muhammadu Buhari-led government, he said. Mr. El-Rufai said the federal government proposed to allow the circulation of the whole 200 naira notes until 10 April. In return, the governors were to withdraw the suits filed by their states in court. The governor, in a statement issued by his media head, Muyiwa Adekeye, on Wednesday, said the report that the Nigerian Governors Forum (NGF) and the federal government held a meeting in the wee hours of Wednesday ahead of Wednesday's Supreme Court hearing was false. He said no such meeting happened. Instead, there was a conversation on the phone in which the officials offered a concession to allow old 200 naira notes to remain in circulation while the governors withdraw the case. He stated that the federal government claimed that the old notes of the higher denominations of 500 naira and 1000 naira are currently being destroyed by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The terms they proposed were to allow only the old 200 naira notes to remain legal tender and be circulated by the CBN till 10 April 2023, which Buhari finally announced in his nationwide broadcast. Mr. El-Rufai said the proposal was rebuffed because retaining the old notes will not address the economic challenges caused by the scarcity of naira notes. Premium Times reported that Mr. El-Rufai's Kaduna State, alongside Kogi State and Zamfara State, filed a joint suit against the federal government at the Supreme Court on the currency policy. The states, later joined by 7 others, asked the Supreme Court to restrain the federal government from implementing the 10th February deadline for the use of the old notes. However, despite the interim order of the court, the central bank insisted on the deadline, thus sustaining the scarcity of cash as the new notes are insufficient. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.